Filming on Ahsoka Season 2 wrapped months ago, Dave Filoni is already cutting every episode at the same time. And yet we still have to wait until early 2027, while Lucasfilm keeps us completely in the dark on one crucial question. What exactly is calling to Baylan's Skoll on Peridea? There's no public trailer yet, but over the past few days, 3 people who should know more than almost anyone else have dropped unusually pointed hints. Jon Favreau has already seen the entire season and calls it the heart of Filoni's whole Star Wars story. Ezra actor Emin Esfandi warns that Filoni went absolutely wild on the new episodes. And Filoni himself says he already knows where this story has to end. Taken separately, these sound like good marketing, but put them together with what Lucasfilm has already confirmed, and a far more unsettling picture emerges, because Season 2 is apparently going to tell 2 wars at once. Thrawn is preparing his attack on the New Republic, but while everyone is watching his fleet, Baylan is searching for a power tied to the gods of Mortis and to ancient machines from a dark past. Thrawn wants to conquer the galaxy. Baylan may be trying to change the rules of the Force itself, and he may have discovered something on Peridea that leads straight back to Anakin Skywalker's greatest unsolved failure. Until now, the guess was that Baylan might be Vader's secret apprentice or a new version of Starkiller. But the confirmed hints tell a different story, one in which Baylan doesn't embody Darth Vader's past, but the future Ahsoka herself could have chosen. And that's exactly what explains why Lucasfilm was determined to continue Baylan's story even after Ray Stevenson's death. Because bigger battles don't explain why Filoni calls Baylan Ahsoka's perfect counterpart, or why, of all people, this Lost Jedi sits at the center of Filoni's hidden endgame. The move to early 2027 was already announced officially by Rosario Dawson on May 12th. So, this isn't really a brand new delay, and a delayed trailer hasn't been confirmed either. What has been confirmed, though, sounds much bigger than anything Season 1 set up. Lucasfilm has already shown footage with massive space battles, lightsaber duels, and a return of Anakin Skywalker. Dawson promised bigger battles and higher stakes. Filoni is currently deep in visual effects, and by his own account, cutting all the episodes in parallel. That doesn't prove the season was delayed because of especially demanding effects, but it does show that post-production is still extensive. And then Emin Esfandi got surprisingly specific. He talked about fights, explosions, lasers, and lightsabers. He also confirmed a flashback with Ezra. Even more interesting, though, was his comparison. Season 1 was the setup. Season 2, by contrast, comes out guns blazing and leans harder into an adult drama about war, loss, and people who had to grow up far too soon. At first, that sounds like more action, but underneath all the explosions, there's clearly something far more personal, because this season doesn't tell one war, it tells 2. The first plays out in the galaxy we know. Thrawn has returned, while Ahsoka and Sabine are still stranded on Peridea. The New Republic still doesn't fully grasp the danger, a political tradition it will later carry on with remarkable consistency all the way to Starkiller Base. Thrawn doesn't have to conquer the whole galaxy right away. He only has to unite the scattered Imperial remnants and prove that the Empire has a future again. And he gets an opponent many viewers probably didn't expect, Admiral Ackbar. Dave Filoni has confirmed that Ackbar will go up against Thrawn directly in Season 2, so we're probably getting not just isolated space battles, but a strategic duel between 2 of the most famous military leaders of the era. Thrawn works through planning, deception, and psychological analysis. Ackbar has decades of experience fighting the Empire, and hopefully by now a slightly more reliable early warning system for traps. But even this conflict may only be the visible part of the story. Jon Favreau has already seen the entire season and describes it as a story on a higher level about officers sweeping galactic developments and the connection to the later rise of the First Order. He also suggests The Mandalorian and Grogu will contain subtle links to Season 2. That means Thrawn's War could explain how the defeated Imperial remnants became an organized power once again. But while everyone is watching his fleet, Baylan is already standing before something far, far older. At the end of Season 1, we see Baylan atop an enormous statue of the father of Mortis. Beside him stand the son and the headless statue of the daughter. That wasn't some decorative Star Wars Easter egg that just happens to be the size of a mountain. Lucasfilm has now officially confirmed that the Mortis gods will shape the story of Season 2. Filoni himself called the subject big, crazy, and complicated. He also spoke of ancient machines from a dark and dangerous past. That turns Baylan's search into the season's second war, not a war over planets, but over the nature of the Force itself. And here, we have to clear a popular theory out of the way. There is so far no proof that Baylan was a secret apprentice of Darth Vader. It's also not confirmed that Plo Koon was his master or that Baylan encountered Anakin during the attack on the Jedi Temple. Baylan says he lived through the fall of the Order and knows what became of Anakin. But that doesn't mean he personally stood in the temple, fought Vader, and then completed a secret Starkiller internship. His knowledge could come from many other sources. He survived for decades, worked as a mercenary, and clearly knew Ahsoka's story very well. He also refers to the events around Peridea as old stories and fairy tales. So his knowledge of Mortis doesn't have to come directly from Anakin. The truth could be far more interesting. Dave Filoni has officially described Baylan as Ahsoka's counterpart. Two lost Jedi on different paths. Both were let down by the Order. Both survived its destruction. Both later trained an apprentice. Both rejected the traditional role of a Jedi. And both carry the consequences of Anakin's fall with them. But Ahsoka is trying to build something new out of that inheritance. Baylan, it seems, wants to destroy the entire cycle. He tells Shin Hati that he has seen empires rise and fall. Jedi defeat Sith. Sith wipe out Jedi. A republic becomes an empire and then becomes a republic again, one that soon repeats the same mistakes. So Baylan isn't seeking ordinary political power. He wants to return to the beginning, to the force from which this cycle may have arisen. And this is exactly where Abeloth becomes interesting. In the old legend stories, Abeloth was tied to the beings of Mortis as the mother. She was a chaotic, almost uncontrollable power, imprisoned again and again because her freedom had catastrophic consequences. But important, Abeloth is not confirmed for Ahsoka Season 2. Her name hasn't been mentioned by Lucasfilm or by Filoni. The Mortis connection, the mysterious voice calling to Baylan, and the mention of ancient machines make a new version of Abeloth theoretically possible. But they don't prove it. Maybe it's the sun calling him. Maybe Baylan is looking for a way into the world between worlds. Or maybe it's an entirely new power that simply borrows elements from old legend stories. Filoni could adapt Abeloth without using her exactly the way the books did. Star Wars has done this many times. Old ideas aren't simply copied but taken apart, given a fresh coat of paint, and then presented as if they'd never spent 20 years sitting in an attic. But there's one more figure who ties all of these possibilities together. Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen has officially confirmed his return, but no one has explained in what form Anakin appears. As a Force ghost, in the world between worlds and memories, or even in another encounter that touches past and present at the same time. Anakin didn't just visit Mortis. The father believed the Chosen One could control the power of his children and preserve the balance. Anakin refused that role. Shortly afterward, the father, the son, and the daughter died, at least in the forms they held then. If Baylan is now searching for the power left behind on Mortis, Anakin might be the only one who fully understands what is waiting for him there. And Ahsoka already carries part of this story within her. On Mortis, the daughter gave her life for Ahsoka. Ever since, the convor Morai has accompanied her again and again. Ahsoka's connection to the daughter isn't a new fan invention. It's been part of her story for years. So maybe Anakin returns not just to have one more emotional conversation with his former apprentice. Maybe he finally has to complete the task he ran away from on Mortis. Then Season 2 would have 3 layers. Thrawn threatens the political future of the galaxy. Baylan threatens the order of the Force. And Anakin has to face the consequences of a decision he made long before Darth Vader. That also explains why Baylan has to be far more than an ordinary antagonist. His role wasn't cut after Ray Stevenson's death. Filoni spoke with Stevenson's family and recast the character with Rory McCann because Baylan's parallel path to Ahsoka absolutely had to continue. So Baylan probably isn't the new Starkiller. He's something better. The man who had the same reasons as Ahsoka to turn his back on the Jedi Order, but drew the opposite conclusion from them. Ahsoka believes you can learn from failure. Baylan believes you have to destroy the system that keeps producing that failure. And that could be the real endgame. Thrawn wants to win the next war. Baylan wants to make sure such a war can never happen again by burning down the game board itself. If he's right, he might not be a classic villain. If he's wrong, Thrawn could turn out to be the smallest problem the galaxy has.